Okay, good day once again. So, thank you for joining us today again. We're happy to have you. Thank you. So today I'm going to be going into the chapter 2 of R for Data Science, the second edition by Hadley Wickham. So, uh, without taking much of our time, I believe we are all familiar with it. So, this is the book. We're going to start with chapter 2. So I'm going to be moving from the book to my R studio. So I'll push to a GitHub later, whatever we've done so far. But I've tried to make some copies here so that it will be a little bit fast and we can do more today. So today we're going to be looking at the basic workflows in R. So basically what we're saying is that how do we interact with the R programming language? So the basics, the functions, variables, objects, and so on and so forth. So there's nothing much here, okay, from my own side. But the most important thing is that we're trying to use code to achieve something. So some of the basic things that we can do is maybe some little addition. Let me bring up this. Okay, so I'll clean up session, restart the session. Okay. So, what we're looking at when we're talking about workflows in R from the book is about the basic things we can achieve with R. So, for me, it's like any mathematical syntax or whatever we want to do. It can be 1 plus 1, we'll get the answer, or 1 plus 3 times, well, okay, times 5. Basically, this is just what we're saying here. So you can also get access to some base functions, can be the mean, you can get mean of some numbers. That's a function. So you can have multiple numbers here. I don't want to gamble with that. So let me just create a vector there to uh, 23. Okay, 4, maybe 5. 4.9, and so on. We can get the mean of this syntax here. So we have the mean here. So any basic arithmetic operation that you want to do, you can do it here in R. So another thing is that we can create objects. So like the sayings goes, anything in R is an object. Everything that we have here is an object. So either it's named or not named, it's an object. So if you now want to give it a name, that means you are assigning a value, an identifier for your syntax. So from what we've done so far, we can decide to go back and assign something, give it a name, an identifier, maybe like mean of some maybe numbers. We'll get there. It's kind of long. So, but it's still a name. Okay. So it's still an identifier. So if I run this, I bring this down, I click enter, you can see my environment now. We have something here. So it's showing mean of some numbers if you follow me through. So you can see the pop-up there. So I can use this identifier or the name of my object, which is getting the mean of some numbers. I can refer back to it by just bringing up the name, mean of some numbers. So, and it's going to give me that value. That means I'm using that identifier like a box or a container to keep the value that are, or the result of calculating the mean or the average of some numbers. So that's what we've done here. So another one you can, like this, you can combine, you can decide to combine some values using this function C. So whenever you see C followed by a bracket opening and closed with some values inside, it's a combine function. So you're combining some elements. It can be numbers and text. Anything you want, you can put in there. Maybe let me give you an example of maybe boy, Abuja. Okay, 134. So I can combine all this. So don't be alarmed by this. This is another topic for another day, but you can combine anything together using that function. So, but what is happening here, it's going to be another discussion for another time so that we don't get distracted. So that is that. So if we run this, let's run this first example that we're given in the book. If you follow along, you can see the examples are there. So you just that, okay, I needed to bring it into the RStudio environment. So it's the same thing that we're having in the RStudio environment that we also have in the book. So we can create an object by assigning the value or the output, the result of multiplying 3 by 4. So that's going to be kept inside this object, inside an object which is given a name X. So if I do that again, we get X. And you can call the name, get that result by just calling the name X, the name of the object X. And if you run that, you'll get the value 12, which is the result of multiplying 3 and 4 together. So another thing you can do is just keep a bunch of numbers in an object called primes. So is a meaningful name because all these numbers are prime numbers. So if we're having some combined numbers, it's not that they're joined together, but we can perform the same operation on all of the values in that object. So if we say primes multiply by 2, that means we're multiplying each element in that vector. So remember, one thing you have to know is that if you're using this combine function, your results or your output or the what you get at the end of the day is you have a vector, an object called a vector. A vector is a single dimensional object, one dimensional object, okay, that has elements of the same type. They all have to be the same type. If they're not the same type, like what I did, there would be something that would happen. And that's what you see there. So that is for a topic for another day. So they all have to be the same type. So if you perform any operation on the vector, it's going to affect all the elements. And that's the result of what we have in the console here. So we can also decide to remember whatever we did on line 25 is not stored back into that prime subject. So it doesn't change it. Okay? We've not assigned it to any object, so it's not going to change the original values here. So let me just bring it to the console for you to see that. So if I say primes, you can see it's still the same value that we have there. Okay? So the only thing that will make it to change is that if I decide to just copy this, place it in front, and then reassign this operation to this same name, similar names. Sorry, excuse me. So if I reassign this back to the same name, the name that we gave to that object, that means it's going to change what was actually in there before. So let me just do that, then I'll get it back to the original value that we're having. So if I decide to call primes now, it's going to change. So it has changed all the values that are there. It was actually 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and 13 before, like we have here. Okay, so be careful. Just know that it doesn't change it until you reassign it back or you give it to another object with a certain name. So that's just it. So if we do this again now, we'll still get what no, okay, let me go, let me go run this again. Okay, so that's just it. So well, okay, yeah, go back to the original primes. So that's the output now. So I will do this. So we're going to be subtracting 1 from each element of the vector primes. So I've not lost you. Do you have any question here? Any question? Okay. So on this line, let me clear my console. If we're looking at the line 33, we're going to get something that is not what we expected because value that is here is not in quotes. So R is treating it like, are you talking about an object that is having the name value? You want to reassign it to object name? Because this is still valid. It's on the left to what's like whatever is on the left is a box that you've given a name. Okay. So it's like, okay, primary school student, maybe primary 2 students. You put that on the left. So that means whatever is coming on the right is going to, we assume that is going to be names of maybe, okay, let's say what we have on the left is names of primary 2 students. So we're logically going to be thinking whatever is coming on the right should be a combination, like a vector of names of students in primary 2. So if you now decide to say John, if I say John, John actually is a name. It's okay. But if I run this, it's going to say, I don't understand what John is. Okay. So the only way it's going to make sense to R is that you put it in a quote and it's going to see it as, okay, this is a text. Okay. So that means this is a value now, is now a value that we want to assign to object name. So if I run this now, there won't be any issue. You can see there's no issue. So this is a box, is an object that is on the left. So if I decide to call or run that name, object name, you can see it's bringing it up. So it's going to give me back John. So you have to know that anything that is not in quotes and it's not a number, it's assumed by R as an object, a named object. So you have to differentiate between those two. I hope we all get that. So can I get
Yes, it's we are,
a confirmation?
yes, I caught
Okay,
it.
good. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're moving on now. So you can add comments to your code. Maybe somebody might be reading your code sometimes in the future. You can say, okay, you can give a name and a comment. A comment is anything that you don't want R to run. So you have to precede it with the hash or pound sign or key. Just type that, you will see you press down Shift 3 is on my keyboard here. So then anything you put after the pound sign is not going to be considered by R as an executable statement. So it's not going to be executed by R. So it's just going to treat, okay, just there for help, for you to understand what you're doing. So that's just it. So this, maybe you can just put, this is just an example of a named object. Okay? So that's just it. So that's the comment there. So the same thing that we have here. So just like what we did before, creating a vector of prime numbers and prime numbers. So anybody that takes your code in the future can always understand what you're trying to achieve there. So the same thing, this is another example. That's just it. So what's the name? What's the name of an object? So there are some fundamentals to naming an object in R. So there are so many examples, but the most common one, so that we don't take much time, is the snake casing, using the snake casing. So that's the first one. So you can also use the camel casing if you prefer. Then also something like this, but just use something that is just convenient for you. But remember, there are some rules. Objects here, I think I wouldn't be saying this. Okay. So object names must start with a letter and can only contain letters. That's alphabets, A, B, C to Z. Numbers, underscore, dot or period. So you want your object names to be descriptive, okay? So you don't just give it any name, something that will make sense to you and to other maybe teammates that will be using the code in future. So you need to adopt a convention for multiple words. So if you are combining multiple words, maybe you're saying, okay, like what we just, the name we just gave now. So we can decide to just make something that would really convey a meaningful message to your audience. So that's basically what we want to achieve. So this is another example. Don't let your object name be too long. If it's too long, kind of not so good. So that's just it. So I think we've gone a bit far today. So um so that's that. So then when we're talking about the next thing we want to go to is assignments, assigning a value to a a kind of a name. Okay. So if you want to assign a value to a name of an object, that means you have to run that code for you to actually achieve that aim. So if you don't run it and you just type what we have on 62 and you come down to 64 and say, okay, let me run that. I've already typed that. No, nothing has been done until you actually run it. And remember, it's case sensitive. If, oh, what did I do? Uh, come here. Okay, that's done. So what, not found. Oh, okay, okay. So let's try something. Okay. So, okay, yeah. Let me go through the book. Sorry, I can't really figure out. Okay, so from the book, what we have here, this illustrates the implied contrast between you. Okay, by next year. Okay, if not, you're likely. Okay, typos matter are countries. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. I get it. Yeah, Yeah. Okay, sorry. So what we'll try is this. What we have here is R rock. Okay. So what I have here is so that's why we error. So even if you didn't omit the error and you decide, okay, like we taught in the primary school, always start your sentence with a capital letter. And we decide to do this. We'll still get an error because it's case sensitive. Okay. So the correct thing would be to you to just put it the way we had it. So rocks. So that's not going to give. Well, we all got it right with me. Okay. So okay. Thank you. So what we're looking at now is this. Remember, no matter what, you cannot shorten the name of your object. That okay, maybe I can abbreviate it and I will just accept it like that. No, you have to use exactly the same name that you used in saving your objects. And R does a good job, maybe R Studio. Immediately you type in the name of that object, it's going to kind of give you an help, like IntelliSense, to make sure and show you the options that you have in while in your session. That okay, maybe even if you have RRock there, it's going to give you those two options. Then you can select which one you actually want. So that is that. So calling functions now. Functions in R are more like some steps or maybe executable codes that you combine together to have a single output. So we don't want to kind of be writing those executable lines of codes again and again and again. So we combine them together to be an executable chunk called functions. So functions can be created using the syntax. So we can have function underscore name. You can call it this way. It's calling now. We're not creating anything now. We're calling this. So it's going to be the function name. Then it depends. Some functions don't even have arguments. So, but in case generally you might be expecting some arguments to be passed to any function, but there are still some functions that you don't have to pass arguments to it by default. No. Even the combined function, you might not, you can create an empty vector. So if I say kind of empty vector, so when I assign it to C function, the C function is going to be okay with it. So, but if you look at my environment now, it's telling you it's having null values. So by default, I don't have to give it anything. So that's just it. But some functions, they would not work except you give them a basic argument. Okay? So you have to give them a basic argument to be able to run properly. So that's it. So you call the name followed by an open bracket, then you close it. Within the two opening and closing parentheses, you push in your arguments. That's just that. So one of the functions that would want you to give it some arguments is the sec question. So it helps you to SEQ. So it helps you to create a sequence of numbers. So you see the arguments here. So if you don't know the argument that you have to pass to a function, just type the name first. Okay. So you have a pop-up. Here, we can see what we have on the screen is SEQ, the parenthesis opening, then 3 dots. That's telling you you're going to have some arguments there. So, but if you don't understand that, just open and close the brackets, get back in between the brackets, then press the tab key. Okay? So you'll see what is there. So, but if you look at the documentation, what is telling you the basic information here is arguments passed to or from methods. That's just what you have there. But if you want some examples to know how a function works, all you need to do is just put the question mark, SEQ. Okay. Then you have on my right side here a documentation that will be displayed to you. Then you have some examples that you can actually copy and run in your console. Then you'll be able to know how to use it in future. So, but the basic thing here is this. We are creating a sequence of numbers from 1 to 10. So if I run this, you'll see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's what we have here. So sometimes you can see some experts they know more than us. They're used to the function. They don't have to give the names of the arguments. So that's why we'll still achieve the same thing here by just putting in 1, comma 10. Okay. So the function is very intelligent, and R is also helping by understanding that the first argument is going to be the sequence is starting from this. So the second number or argument is going to be where I'm stopping to create the sequence. So that is just that. So it's going to understand that, okay, since you didn't give it a name, so I'm going to make the assumption that 1 is for the argument from, then 10 is for the argument to. So that's what is happening here. So let me go back to the book a little bit so that I don't get lost. Okay, so part of the workflows that you can have in R that is helpful is that if you decide to kind of, this is right, line 86 is right, we are assigning a string to X as an object. So, but if you decide that, okay, you don't want to close the quotes and you're running this, R will help you. Okay, let me close this. Okay, yeah, let me just complete what we have. Uh, oh, okay, I made that. Um, escape. Okay, let me just jump that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is this. This line, we are going to run it again. Okay, so what is happening here is that you can see we did not close the quotes. And when we try to run it in the console, we're having a plus displayed to us. That means you're missing something. You have to add that thing for you to be able to complete an executable statement. So I have to close that. So you'll be able to assume that, okay, oh yeah, I forgot the quote. So you just add it and magically everything is okay now. So it's going to take it and add to your executable code or line of code and complete it for you. So that is for the workflow there. Okay. Do you have any question? If you have questions, let me know. And if I'm going too fast, please kindly call me back. Any question?
Not for now.
Okay. Okay, now I want you to join me. We need to do the exercise together if there's no question. So, from what we have here, why does this code not work? So we don't know if it doesn't work, but let's just create a new script. So we'll copy what we have. We paste it there. Let's run it first to know if it actually didn't work. The first one is this. Okay, that went well. So we've been able to assign 10 to a variable, my variable. So the next thing is that, okay, we're trying to call the name of the variable. Okay, let's do that. Uh-oh. There is something wrong here. It's saying object, my variable, not found. Is that true? Can we look at it very well?
You are not expecting anything. If you are expecting something, then you will be there. But now we are not expecting.
It's not even giving us a good record.
It is not.
Because
Hello? Hello? Can anybody figure out what we're doing wrong here, or what is wrong with the code that is not running? Can you help us out?
I think the name we call is the same as the name we assigned the 10 to. So I'm wondering why it's throwing up the error.
Okay. Let's look very carefully.
Oh, yeah. My
Yeah.
variable, the I is missing. I think is that L now that is in what we called?
Yeah.
That's where the
Yeah,
problem.
that's very problem. You're actually very smart. It took me a while. I was really confused the first time that I saw the question. I said, what's going on? Come on. What's here? So it's like just like Hadley put it there, it's a brain teaser. You have to train your brain to notice even the tiniest difference. Okay? You got it right, sir. So the I is missing. So that's why we're having the problem. So if we take that out, then we'll get our value back.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. So let's go to number 2. Tweak each of the following R commands so that they run correctly. Okay, let's copy that again. So I think this is from chapter 1, from what we learned in chapter. Okay, I've first of all seen 1. So do you notice anything wrong here?
hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hello,
Yes,
yeah.
the first line here, the spelling of library is wrong.
Yeah, that's it. So that's 1. There's still a problem on that line.
Then tidyverse. Tidyverse is not correctly spelled. Remove O and put I.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let's load that. Oh, that works. Thank you. So we're on line 7. So what's wrong there? There's a problem there.
I think data, that DTA should be data equal to MPG, not DTA equal to MPG.
Yes.
So it should be data.
Even the A, the capital
the A
letter.
it should be small letter.
Okay, good. You can see the pop-up is there. So, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So let's look at the second line. Do we have any problem there?
Yes.
The spelling of
mapping should be
mapping.
double P.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm really grateful for that. So what else do we have? I think that's okay. Okay. Now on the ninth line, there's a problem.
The second apostrophe for linear model is missing.
Okay, good. So I can fix that up.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I think we should be good to go now. Do we still have a problem there? Oh boy. Okay, ggplot.
Yes, after x equals display, there should be a comma. before y.
Mm. Okay, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Awesome. I think we are okay. There's still an arrow. There's still an arrow. Okay, let's just open this, make it a little bit bigger. Okay.
Missing.
I think we're still having, where is the
Hello?
problem now? Okay.
The linear model statement, are we not supposed to have the dependent and independent variables
Yeah, I think
mapping to each
so.
other?
How do we fix that? Let's fix it together.
Look at an example here. I think where it's stated that using formula y
Yeah,
maps to x.
yeah. So where do I put that? Tell me what to do. So just smooth. Okay, let's just go there. Geom underscore smooth. So this uh-oh. Do we have a problem? Yeah, okay. We should be able to get a question. Geom. Okay. 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 So we need to state something here. If we're missing out, let's look at an example. So these are the examples that we're having here. So where should we get what? No, no,
Formula.
no, no. Stop. Okay, sorry. So excuse me. What? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll see you later. Okay. Hello. So what do we put this? So what we have here is what? Uh, we have to do it together. Let me see. What do we say? Method. Okay, the problem here, can you see from the documentation that we're having, what do you see? There's something here that we did wrong.
I can't really see John Smooth.
Okay, let me make it a little bit bigger
Method equal
so
to
that you
LM.
can see it. The documentation is this. Then we'll see the examples. There's something we did there that we shouldn't have done.
Yeah, the LM, we put it in inverted, in bracket, in quoted inverted commas, so that shouldn't be there.
Exactly. So that's it. So let's try this. Hopefully we don't have another error. Okay, we're still there. We're not done yet.
Did you
Hello?
did you
Hello?
run that? Did you run line 5 library tidyverse?
Hello?
Wait. Yeah, hello, yeah, go ahead. There's something we're still missing
Like
out
I
here.
said, there should be a comma after the LM. Then you put formula equal to y.
Okay.
Y.
Yeah, I think we
Look
can
at
run it
this.
without that. If the problem may be something.
Wait. Say this is it. Let's
Yes, that's what I'm
take
saying.
this.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay, so after where do you want me to put it?
After, yeah, at that point where your cursor is now.
Okay, I should put it here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's try that again.
Run it from the library tidyverse. It's like we have not run that loaded the library.
I have loaded the library. Okay, but I'll do it again so that you see that I've loaded it. So I've done that. So we'll do it again. Okay, we're still having an issue. So how do we do that? I have not. Is there anything here? No. I don't think we need this formula either. We don't need the formula, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Okay,
Let's. I'm following you.
Can you check the variables whether they are written correctly the way they are in the data set?
Okay. Okay, let's look at that.
The DISPL, is that how it is written in the
Okay, I
data
think
set?
this is the same, like an example. This is an example here.
Okay.
Okay. So look at the example. That's what I'm saying. We have to look very well. There's no problem with it.
Okay.
Okay, so what do we do now? Let me.
I think you should remove the formula.
I want us to look at, yes. Look at it. Look.
That example that you just checked now. That example that you pointed to now.
Okay.
You will see that after the LM, after the comma, what you have is SE equal to false.
Exactly.
So I think that's the only thing that is missing.
Okay.
Then the first line under the ggplot, we have MPG, comma, AES display, comma, H. I think that we also have a problem there.
Actually, let's take a
under
step.
Data equal to MPG. Yes, take that one out. Yes.
Okay, let me take this one out first. Let's take one step at a time.
Okay.
We'll take the solutions one by one as well. So SE is equal to
false.
This false. So let's run that first. So we still have a problem. Okay. So what you're saying is that I should do what? I should take this.
If you look at
which
that
one
data
should I
equal
take?
to MPG, if you compare it with the example that you have, you will see that you have 2 parentheses, not one. No, in that first line, not the second line.
Do we really understand this mapping function?
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, who's talking there? Okay,
Oladapo
somebody new
talking.
there. Okay, good. Okay. I want him to I want everybody to understand it by contributing. So I don't want to be the one to give answers. If you're in the class, the mapping can be in any of the geoms.
Okay.
Or is that what Oladapo? Sorry.
Yes,
I don't want to do that.
Yes.
Okay, no, okay. So you'll be the one to drive the discussion. I don't want to give the answers because we've already done this last week. So but I want us to continue to do make mistakes and fix it up. That's the way I believe we can learn.
Okay, I think I noticed something now. This MPG that you have here in the first line, we are using mapping in the second line instead of that MPG. I think we should be using MPG, not mapping. Where is the mapping coming from? From the example, we don't have any mapping.
Okay, wait. Okay, I think, listen, this is it. If you want to understand, let's go back, ggplot, that function, let's get the help. So from last class, we actually broke it down line by line, what the functions, each of the lines are doing. Okay. So if you're looking at ggplot itself is taking in this information. Okay. So these are the arguments there. So this statement is not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but the controversy that everybody is, okay, some part of us are having is this. Why should it be on this line? But if you look at geom points, let me give you the question mark geom. Any of the geometries, let me just do this one first so that you will be able to understand what we're talking about. So geom, do you see we're having the same thing?
Yeah.
Almost the same things, actually. So I can, is actually something advanced or something that can be confusing. I can decide to have multiple data for my visual.
Mm.
So that is what is happening here. So if I have a separate data for my ggplot function, I can have a separate data for another geometry that I want to create. Maybe the line plot or maybe the bar plot is different. But I want them on each other because these are layers. So I can decide to use another data set. So I can map something different to my bar plots instead of using the same data that is used for the line plot. So so you have to understand the basics. So having this here is not a problem. So, but we can take it out for those who are still learning. We can put it here, provided it's not going to have any issues, nothing. So from what we've just done today, a function can take its argument value without you giving, using the name of those arguments. So I can decide to say, I'll do this, take this out, mapping, go away. Are we together?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Very well.
Hello? So
yes, we are with
that
you.
is
Yes, we are with
basically,
you.
okay, good. So that is just what we're saying. It will understand. So if I run this, like what we did the last class, we'll have our canvas. Okay? So we already have each of the the vertical axis and the horizontal axis is already there. The only problem we're having now is points. So now if we do it, we're still okay up to this point. It will give us the point.
Yeah. So the problem is the Jones smooth.
So now that is what we need to fix. So it's still going to work. So remember, let me clear that second aspect for you. I can still put it here. So if we can still say this is going to work, you can see it's not changing. Let me clear this so that you will be sure of what we did. So there's no visual here. So if I do this, we won't, okay, if I run this line 8, what would happen to the canvas? What are we going to see that is different from what we saw the last time? Somebody should help me out there. Something is going to be different.
Yeah, just empty shell of.
Am I going to have the axis there?
No, because you have not called the axis.
Oh, okay, the aesthetics. That's the second layer. So let me run this. So you can see nothing is shown.
An empty stuff.
Exactly. We have a foundation. That's the first layer. It's telling us that, okay, I know you want to draw something, you want to create a visual, you have given me the data, but I don't know what to put where. And so that's where this comes in.
Yeah.
So if we do this now, we'll have the geometry created as well as the axes are shown.
X and Y axis.
So now we have to fix the last one. Okay? So because let's do this, we have an error. So we'll still have to do it. So let's do it together. I won't say anything. We'll have to fix it together. So who's going to help us out? Let's still look. There's that example. There are examples there, and I think it's the same thing, but we still need to figure out something is wrong.
Yeah, definitely something is wrong.
So who's always going to help us? We have to fix that code.
Smooth.
So we can get some help here, but I don't know why it's not working now. We should be able to. Okay. Okay, let me take this. Control C. If that is the case, then something is still wrong somewhere. If this goes, No, that means we're not looking well. There's something wrong here. We still have a problem. What's different from ours? Why are we having issues here?
That is what
There's
I'm
still
really trying to
something
figure
we are
out.
missing.
Display.
Let's look at it. There's something wrong here. Something is wrong. I have not seen it. I didn't look at the question actually. Okay, let's see. There's something different. Let's see. We have to
What
deal
I
with
can
this.
see that is different in this new in the one you just plotted now and the one we have previously that we're having challenge with is that we specify X and Y axis. We specified X and Y axis, but in the one you pasted down, X and Y axis are not specified. They just put the variable.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can still do that. That's what I'm saying, that I don't have to put the argument name. This will still work. Yeah. Do you see that? The problem is this line, and I can't see it. I don't know.
So
where we're wrong.
I can't really see any problem in that line. Method.
Then what is going on?
Is the same data set, the line is the same in both codes.
So what's wrong? Okay, let me do it again. Still saying start small requires the following missing aesthetics. X and Y. No, something is funny here. Something is fishy. Okay, let me do something. I'll copy this because actually I don't know what's going on. I'll comment this out. Okay, so I'll push this down. It's still having an issue. Then something is wrong somewhere. What's going on?
An arrow does not lie.
I don't know. Hey, you know what? Let me do something. I will restart. Okay, let's just do something funny. I still want us to see it. What did we do wrong?
Hope we are not missing something as a result of the way we define some things in our geom point. That's why we are having problem with that geom smooth.
But I don't see any difference there. Okay, let me okay. Okay, let's take it out.
Copy it now.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me do this. We're all learning. I don't know what is going on because this is still the same thing. And plus, this is plus. This is this. Okay, I'm taking out what I copied. I don't want to put that there. So I want us to start again. So I've loaded the package. Then let's do this. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. I think the issue is because of where we have our aesthetics.
Yes.
So, but one thing is this. Okay, yeah. So one thing is this. What we did, if we put it here, because if the jump smooth is not there, okay, yeah, now I get it. Okay, yeah, okay. So what we're looking at is this. If we place these aesthetics here, then we have to state the formula. I think that's what went wrong. So that is why it's still complaining. Yeah. So I think this is what we needed to kind of fix. So let me look at, I need to figure this out. Sorry. Let's look at the function, the examples again. If I have to use this to fix it up, the examples here. Okay, I think what I'll do is this. I'll get a better explanation for the next group session. So I'll fix that up. I would, because I can't really think of anything now. Okay. So this start let's go small. Okay. Having a session. I'm coming. Come on. Close. Yeah. Okay, sorry for that. Um I think I'll get something back next class. And if anybody has anything, please, on our WhatsApp group, if you're on the WhatsApp group, can you push it in? Then we can share it with each other. So, but I don't want to crack. We're tired now. The time is well spent. So for us to fix this up, the aesthetic has to be here. But if you place it here, it's not wrong. That's what I want you to take home. It is not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? Are we together?
We are
together.
Okay, so it's not wrong. It's because of the linear model that we're actually adding to our visual. That is where we're having an issue. So we need to create a formula that will work with the geometry for the smooth. So that is what is the issue there. So it's still giving us some kind of information here. So error occurred in the second layer caused by error in compute layers. This is so if you push this online now, we'll get the answer.
Yeah.
Let me even see. Control C. I'm going online. Let's see if we can get help there. Something quick. Okay. Sorry. So I don't do a lot of editing.